You ever thought, what's the point of measuring your food, tracking what you eat, looking at the labels? All of those things combined can give you results either faster or can completely destroy what you're trying to achieve. Hi, my name is Rashpal and welcome to The Strongest in the Bloodline. My job here today is to help you figure out why you are not able to see the kind of results that you're looking for. A very simple thing, but always underestimated or mostly ignored. I'll tell you in the simplest way possible what 90 days of tracking food or tracking calories did to me. This is how I was before I started tracking my calories, and this is how I was after I started tracking my calories. There is not a big difference in these two photographs. The time difference between this and this is about 10 to 11 weeks. I'll tell you what I actually did. In this side, I was training for powerlifting. I was eating whatever I could. I knew what micros are, what macros are, how carb, protein, fats are supposed to work for my body weight, for my training regime, for what I'm trying to achieve. I knew I need to have about 3,000 to 3,200 calories roughly. I knew I need to eat about 260 grams of protein. I knew I need to have about 320 to 350 grams of carbohydrates. I knew I need to have about 70 to 80 grams of fats. But the problem wasn't what I was eating. Problem was I didn't know how much I am actually eating. Never measured, never tracked, never really paid attention. The day I started tracking my food, there are multiple apps. There's like my favorite one is Fat Secret. Easy to use, simple, and you can pretty much track your whole food. The best part about it, it gives you a breakdown of your micronutrients. So when you're trying to track your potassium, magnesium, sodium, it gives you a very easy breakdown. You can create the balance of your micronutrients as well as your macros. Apart from that, you have MyFitnessPal, the Apple app. You can do in a lot of bunch of like fitness apps. They all have that tracker option these days. Very easily available. The idea is when you estimate you need to eat 1,800 calories a day, but you don't really track, you have no idea if you're actually eating 1,800 or you're eating 2,000. That 200 calorie difference makes a huge gap between your results and your failure. That's where a lot of people make mistakes. When I talk to people, they're like, oh, I'm doing intermittent fasting, or I'm doing 3 meals a day. I'm on a high protein diet. I ask them a simple question. How many calories do you eat? Probably 2,000. I'm like, are you sure you're eating 2,000? Roughly 2,000, 2,100. That's what I'm eating. All right, let's write down what you eat. And when I sit down with them and I start tracking their foods, they're always surprised. They're like, oh, I didn't know that's what I'm doing. 99% of the time, they're always under eating to what they believe they're actually eating. For example, if someone believes they are in calorie deficit and they are supposed to be in 2,100, 2,000 range, they are generally eating 1,300 to 1,500 calories, which means they are far below than their deficit amount, which means their metabolic rate is slowing down. They're not actually losing the amount of weight that they're supposed to be. They're losing more lean mass over fat mass. And in 6 months down the road, the thought is, I was in deficit, I was training hard, I was doing only 2 meals a day, I'm still fat, I haven't lost anything. So this is where the tracking plays a massive role. You need to know what amount of calories or what sort of macros you have in your breakfast, what sort of macros you have in your lunch, what sort of macros you have in between the snacks, what sort of macros you have in your dinner. How would you know? If you're not tracking it, you would never know what the numbers are. It's like estimating and guessing how much the grocery is going to cost without looking at your wallet, how much money you actually have to spend. Exact same thing when it comes to cutting down, when it comes to going in surplus. You need to know the numbers. You need to start tracking. If you don't know what your fat, protein, carbs distribution is in numbers, not in terms of like weights, you can't really achieve what you're trying to achieve. You will always fail over and over again. As I said, this and this is before I start tracking. This is after I started tracking. And this side, trust me, I was very strong right here. I was at peak of my powerlifting, but when I switched to this, I was still strong. The only difference was I wasn't as strong in compound lifts as I was on here. Lots of my lifts actually went up. So before workout, I knew how much carbs I'm supposed to have. After workout, I knew how much carbs I'm supposed to have. So the carbs that I was pushing in the night time, I just cut it down, switched it up to the lunchtime because I actually knew how much I need to eat. If you don't have those numbers, you don't even know like where to, cut it down. So these sort of mistakes can easily be avoided by doing simple things. Start tracking your calories, start tracking your nutrition. And when you do it day in, day out, by the end of 90 days, you will actually see you have been eating a lot better. Everything plays really well. You just need to know your numbers in order to get to your goals. And that's it for today. And if you have any more questions, please comment below, subscribe, share this video, like this video if you like the information. And all these results are real. My clients are real. And if you need any help, look at the description box. That's where my email address is. It's rushpal.coach@gmail.com. And you can send me an email. And if you need any help, I'm here to help. Peace out.